Yo, what's good, cyberpunks and retro nerds? Welcome back to another edition of Neon Trash. I'm your host, Tommy the Hammer. It has been a long and painful work week. I've been looking forward to watching some sleazy, low-budget trash since Monday. And before we do any of that, I'm going to go ahead and get right.
Combo breaker!
Oh yeah! Now we're ready. For tonight's video review, we're going to be busting out the old VHS vault and checking out two sleazy retro horror movies. I'm going to be hanging out, drinking some booze, and watching both of these motherfucking flicks. We're going to be kicking things off right here with this in. You guys know this routine. Check out that motherfucking trailer. Peep that shit, bitches! And when we get back, y'all motherfucks are gonna know my opinion on the old Nail Gun Massacre.
Peaceful town somewhere in America.
I said put that thing down!
Well, what do you think?
Up until the Nail Gun Massacre.
Well, you just pissed me off.
The town of the Nail Gun Massacre. A sheriff and a doctor are close on the killer's tail. And then another nail gun massacre happens.
What the hell's the matter with you?
Dreadfully mutilated corpses line the killer's way. The Nail Gun Massacre.
You just don't understand.
Uninhibited frenzy. Terry Lofton's knack in presenting gruesome situations has made him famous beyond the borders. A masterpiece that already has many followers in the USA. The Nail Gun Massacre.
Okay, so this is a bad movie. Calling Nail Gun Massacre anything but lame, sleazy, low budget, cheap would be kind of doing a serious disservice to all the other low budget, sleazy, cheap horror movies out there that actually get it right. Because this movie certainly gets a lot of things wrong. The acting is real wooden and very cheap. The special effects are almost non-existent. There's a lot of people getting riddled with nails from a nail gun, and okay, sure, there's a couple of blood squibs here or there, and some of it does look quite grisly in terms of a slasher film, but overall, you can't help but wish that this movie really full sent that gory angle. But that's the problem right there. This is a cheap, low-budget movie. I wouldn't quite say that it's filmed on video. It appears to be maybe a notch above that, but it's definitely not, you know, in the same realm as, say, Sleepaway Camp or Friday the 13th or The Burning, any of those classic 1980s slasher movies that people like me really revel through. If I was to compliment this movie at all, it would be to the soundtrack. I really enjoyed it. I thought it had this kind of awesome old school 1980s synthesizer feel to the entire affair. On the VHS box here it says cheaper than a chainsaw, and that it is. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this ain't. So with all that being said, guys, I really can't recommend this movie too highly. I enjoyed it because, what can I say? I love wallowing in filth such as this. So I was able to drink some beers, hang out with my fucking cat, watch this cheapo slasher film, and relatively have a good time. So with all that being said, guys, I could give the movie Nail Gun Massacre, I'm gonna say 3.5, almost a 4 out of 10. Alright guys, on to film numero 20. We're moving on to the flick The Other. This appears to be one of those evil little kids movies, but I've never actually seen it before in my entire life. It's released by CBS Fox, so I get the impression that it's going to have a higher budget than the last flick that I watched. You guys know this routine. Check out this trailer, peep that shit when we get back. You guys are going to know my opinion on the movie The Other.
Where is the baby?
For the Perrys of New England, terrible things began to happen that summer. There were secret terrors, secret places. But the most frightening secret of all is yet to come. Shocking bestseller, 20th Century Fox presents a new concept of terror and madness. There have been all the others. Now there is The Other, rated PG.
Where is the baby?
Wow, what a masterclass in Americana Gothic horror this movie was. How dare I correlate The Other with the Nail Gun Massacre? How dare I sully this horror movie with the trash that I had watched before it? Now, I get that double features are supposed to have a wide berth in terms of theme and overall execution, but holy fucking shit, is this ever a chasm? Because the movie The Other is fucking awesome. And how is it that I'm just watching this movie today, 2022? Holy fucking shit, this movie blindsided me with its classy acting, with its awesome production value, and with its twists in narrative. This movie starts conventionally enough. It kind of reminded me of the early works of Stephen King, that whole early 1970s horror vibe. And, you know, some people feel like that decade was the best in terms of horror, in terms of a literary work, in terms of a cinematic approach. Wow, where the hell was I with this movie? Surely I would have seen it sitting on the old VHS rental shelf back in the day. The basic premise to this movie is about these two little boys. They happen to be twins, and one of them is inadvertently evil. Now, that's nothing new. There's plenty of evil little kids movies out there, and some are better than others. But with this movie, I feel like the director kind of comes at things from definitely a different angle. For one thing, the two actors that play the leads in this movie, they're real-life twins, and for some bizarre reason, the director has chosen to never film them in the same scene together. And I thought this at first was done as kind of a red herring, as something to kind of trick the viewer, but upon further inspection and research of this film, it was directly a choice by the actual director of the film. He wanted to show the weird dichotomy between these two twins. This movie is absolutely terrifying, especially towards the end of the film, because, like I said earlier, everything starts conventionally enough with this movie, and I'd say about an hour and 20 minutes into it, it really starts twisting and gnarling and turning into something way more terrifying than you would have ever thought at the beginning of the film. Some people might say that that is far too long for the viewer to watch a movie and expect, you know, a lot of action or things to be happening. An hour and 20 minutes. But I don't know, I feel like it really sets the stage. You get to know these characters. You're kind of reveling in this era, in this time period, and what these characters are going through. And it really helps sell the mood. It helps sell the atmosphere of the movie. And by the, you know, final moments of this film, when you get the big twist, maybe some of you guys will see it coming. I know I did a little bit, but then this movie turns that twist on its motherfucking head. I gotta say, that last moment of the movie, holy fucking shit. It was absolutely terrifying. And it's not a fake out. It's not done with a smirk or some sort of like cocky veneer that the director's trying to pull a fast one to the audience. You've guessed the ending, but then you get that one extra mile of absolute horror. Now, I know it seems like I'm really selling this movie, and that's only because it really blindsided me, but that's not to say The Other is perfect, because it's not. There's, I don't know, maybe the straightforward nature of the overall narrative would turn some people off. They'll see it as kind of being melodramatic or cliched of the 1970s, but since I'm into films of that era and I can really get into that sort of thing, it was a small problem. Maybe the twist at the end wasn't as terrifying for some people as it was for me, because, whereas I saw it kind of coming, that one final frame where it takes you a little bit further into the terror meant the world to me, because for some reason, when you think you have it all figured out, this movie goes an extra 20 minutes and just drops a bombshell of absolute terror on anyone watching it. I gotta say, the movie The Other is a hidden gem. This should be a movie that people watch during Halloween, or on those dark and spooky rainy nights when you're just sitting up on the couch, curled up next to a loved one, you're eating popcorn, maybe having a couple of brewskis, and you're looking to get creeped out. This movie definitely does that. It might not be as good as movies like Rosemary's Baby or The Omen, but I feel like it's good in its own right. And in terms of evil little kid movies, well, this is one of the best, and I've seen quite a few. So out of 10 stars, I could give the movie The Other a solid 7.5, almost an 8 out of 10, guys. It's really that good, and y'all motherfuckers should give it a look-see. I hope I've been informative, everybody. Until the next time, tune in to Neon Motherfucking Trash. Peace out, y'all.